No matter how much thorns are in the heart, it's just the Halloween costume, and the real soul, the real heart, the real person, the real self is fine. You're just playing a character that feels unlovable. You're just have a Halloween costume of somebody who, and you're super into your character. And that's why the title of this was around like doubt kills the purpose faster than the failure. So let's get into that. Like, if you try and it doesn't go the way you want, that gets you further than the doubt. So when we get to this concept of purpose, everyone's purpose is so simple. So, so, so simple. I read you guys all of these different purposes. Most of them were to love, to help, to experience, to understand. And then there was usually a second part, which was to love and be love for others, to be a light for others and for yourself, to understand and then help others understand, to experience and then help others understand their experience or to help others experience these things. Sometimes it's through a certain means. So some people will say, like, oh, well, they're going to experience love and suffering in this life, and then they're going to lead by example. So it's like, it really is that simple, and there's many different manifestations of how a purpose will play out. So, like, a purpose can play out as, like, yeah, it could be through art, but it can also be at a coffee shop talking to the barista for a second. It could also be playing out in some super grand way, like, creating some technology that changes the world, but then it can also be as simple as smiling at someone on the street. If your purpose is to love and to help others experience love, then it is that simple to call a friend and say, "Hey, I just wanted to check on you. How you doing? What's going on?" And then they feel that connection and they feel pulled back in and back part of the community and back part of the game and back lit up and inspired again. Or, yeah, so what are you working on? You know, what have you been looking at? What have you been researching? Like, it is that simple. It's not a career, it's not a job. It can, if you're lucky and you live in alignment, you can do that in your work. But anybody can do that in their work. If you are a waitress and your purpose is to teach people love by example, then you just are nice to people that are in your section that night, and they go home and they're like, "You know what? We had such a nice time. That waitress was so nice." Like, it really is that simple. And this find your purpose is a mind fuck of thinking it's lost. There is nothing lost. What You remember your purpose, and your purpose, everything is love. So it's some form of love, some form of understanding. So then unconditional love, right? We have our regular type of love, right? We all get that. We all know what regular type of love is. The unconditional love is understanding, right? Unconditional love understands all. It understands why somebody does something fucked up, why somebody hurts another person, why somebody hurts themselves, why somebody makes a bad decision, why somebody makes a life altering decision that could lead to people dying. That is unconditional love. Why a certain world leader does a certain thing, why a certain war happens, why an organization happens that becomes disruptive. Like, that is unconditional love. So even all the purposes come back to love in one way or another. So it's either, and then what is experience? Experience comes back to love, to unconditional love, right? So experience is a form of unconditional love, right? Because how do we experience unconditional love? Through many different experiences. So, experiencing unconditional love is maybe some people throughout my life have cheated on me and made me feel unworthy of love or hurt or not good enough. And then unconditional love is being able to understand, like, damn, and that person was hurting. That person was once a child. And throughout the way, they lost sight with their honesty, with being true to themselves. They lost control of their impulses. Does that mean I need to still be like, whatever, getting hurt by those people? No. But it means like the understanding, the compassion doesn't mean I don't have boundaries of those situations, but understanding, experience, it all comes back to love. It is all unconditional love. So, like, at the end, all purposes, like, even my purpose in QHHT said my purpose was to help other people find their purpose or, like, remember what their purpose is. The Gene Keys says that my purpose is, like, all of these experiences is to help people understand themselves better. What is that? Understand themselves better. Understand themselves is unconditional love. To learn how to have unconditional love for themselves. Every single thing, all paths to all purposes will come back to unconditional love because unconditional love is underneath it all. That's what's the void. That's what's the all. That's what's the creator. That's what's creation. That's what's the all, the nothing. All of that is the word that can use for it is unconditional love. And so if you are going in that direction, also with the thing with purpose is like you already know it. You already know it. All of these people had some feeling when we would talk after they're out of the hypnosis, if their purpose was to help people. What is helping people? Helping people is unconditional love, right? All purposes lead back there. So if we think that, like, okay, I don't know what my purpose is. What am I meant to do in this life? Start going in that direction. And you already know. Trust me, you already know. If somebody says, oh, my purpose was to, there was the one that was around like loneliness, that this person experienced loneliness in their life. And then now they were meant to help other people who felt lonely in their life to feel loved, to feel community. There's people who are doing it through being a leader and using their voice. That maybe is standing up for people or being a voice for people. That is all coming back to unconditional love. You're always going to be going in this direction. And none of these people were shocked. None of these people in all of these hypnosis clients, and I just read just some that I was able to pull up in my notes here, was like, none of them were like, whoa, that's weird. Help people? I don't know. I never thought I was going to do that. They're never like, oh, help people understand themselves better. I never thought I was gonna do that. No, they already when they hear it, they said, "Wow, that's what I've done effortlessly always. I've always helped people. I've always found the outsider and made them feel connected. Oh, I've always used my voice to speak up for people. Oh, I've always" Oh, TikTok. I gotcha. Okay. I've always, helped people to have a different perspective on something. I've always been someone to give advice or give this or do this. Like, no one is, like, shocked because you already are. You already are your purpose. You're already doing your purpose. You're already living in your purpose, and what it is, like, going back to the basics. Now, do you wanna use that purpose now that you're like, "Okay, my purpose is to help people understand themselves?" Maybe it's in a form like I'm doing it, which is, content, writing, whatever speaking, whatever other capacity I'm gonna do it with. I created my workbooks. My workbooks help people to understand themselves better in a way, right? It turns them how to understand tarot. And then they use tarot to understand themselves better. Like all things lead back. Because, okay, so what is the purpose of the one? Because now we're getting big, juicy, big concept here, right? What is the purpose of the one? To experience, to understand itself, to be love, to split into all these different parts so that it can experience, understand itself in all of these different situations and all these different experiences. And then what it does is helps itself, loves itself, understands itself, fractals into all of these different things. Like it is literally to expand. Yeah, to expand. Right. Jen Zoe from My Human Design says that your purpose is whatever comes easiest to you, but other people always comment on how great you are at that thing. Interesting. Right. That is like an interesting. I mean, I think I'm getting pretty zoomed out big purpose because they all do come back to love and unconditional love, but